welcome to the NewsX Sunday Guardian Roundtable. Well, the Parliament is all set to finally have that delayed monsoon session. It's going to reconvene next week. And there are a whole lot of issues that need to be discussed, whether it is the COVID management or mismanagement, the economy, the face-off with China, and then also the delay in or the decision to hold the NEET and the JEE exams. So a whole lot of questions that the government is going to be accountable for. But can the opposition hold the government accountable? Has the opposition got its act together? These are some of the questions I'm going to be discussing with my panel of experts. Joining me is Rashid Kidwai. He's a senior commentator, journalist, and author of 24 Akbar Road. Nirmal Pathak, he's the editor at PTI Bhasha. Radhika Ramaseshan, she's consulting editor, Business Standard, and also a commentator and columnist. Aditi Phadnis, again a well-known columnist, and also political editor at the Business Standard. And then what is going to happen after the beginning of how is it going to be? COVID, China, economy, which will...
अभी इसके सेशन क्योंकि ये कोविड की वजह से कोविड-19 की वजह से बहुत ही एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी सिचुएशन है। जैसे कल स्पीकर ने भी इसको क्लियर किया है, उसमें से ये पहली बार ऐसा इस तरह से हो रहा है कि दोनों हाउसेस वो आधे समय के लिए बैठेंगे पार्लियामेंट हाउस में। तो बहुत ही अलग तरह की स्थितियां, ये अपने आप में पहली बार इस तरह की क्योंकि स्थितियां बनी हैं। तो जब ये सेशन शुरू होगा तो बहुत सारी चीजें तो उसके बाद क्लियर होंगी कि किस तरह से हाउस फंक्शन करता है। मेरे ख्याल से इस बीच में पिछले 6-7 महीने में बजट सेशन के बाद से बहुत सारी ऐसी बातें हुई हैं जो अपोजिशन के लिए बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट हैं, जो सरकार के लिए, जिस पे उनको सरकार से डेफिनेटली एग्रेसिवली जवाब उनको पूछने चाहिए मेरे ख्याल से। चाहे वो कोविड-19 के मैनेजमेंट का मामला हो, जो माइग्रेशन जो हुआ और अब रिवर्स माइग्रेशन जो शुरू हो गया है उसके व्यवस्था का इशू है, फिर नई एजुकेशन पॉलिसी आई है उसको लेके बहुत सारे सवाल हैं। तो ऐसे इश्यूज बहुत हैं। इकोनॉमी है सबसे बड़ा मसला, फिर चाइना पे बॉर्डर एलएसी पे हमारी जो अभी टेंशन अभी चल रहा है वो है। तो ये बहुत सारे ऐसे इशू हैं जिन पे अपोजिशन काफी एग्रेसिव होके, और यही अभी जो देश के सामने महत्वपूर्ण सवाल हैं वो यही हैं। तो अगर मिनिस्ट्रीज के, पर्टिकुलरली मिनिस्ट्रीज के सवालों को आप छोड़ दें जो बहुत ही माइन्यूट लेवल पे होते हैं, उस पे एमपी जो पूछते हैं अपने क्वेश्चन आवर के टाइम पे, उसको अगर आप छोड़ दें तो ये जो बड़े सवाल हैं ये इनको पूछने का मौका और इन पे जवाब लेने का मौका तो अपोजिशन के पास अभी भी रहेगा ही।
Radhika, how do you see this? Can the opposition get its act together? Because as Nirmal has said, issues there are aplenty, but we've seen the opposition doing self goals too many times.
No, this could have been an epic session. I was just mentally going through the issues that have been coming up between the budget session and now. Of course, I mean, topping the list is the pandemic management or lack of management, because you had it, the whole thing has panned out in several phases. You had the lockdown, you had the exodus of migrants back to their states, the hardships. I mean, who can forget the images of these poor people walking for miles and miles, walking, cycling, hitching rides on trucks, going without food, going without water, and, staring at an empty future in their villages. It's not that there was something great going for them in their homes, and now there is reverse migration. Then you had the deaths. You had some kind of a cover-up. I mean, we were given to believe that the pandemic is flattening out with an increase in the number of tests, but there is no reason at all to be optimistic, because the numbers are growing, and there is a sense that both the center and the state governments have kind of thrown up their hands and left people to fend for themselves. I mean, I don't want to make it a blanket statement, but this is what it looks like. So, there is then, the collaterals, the economy. I mean, there is enough and more data emerging every day to show how, the economy is just going down, down, down. I mean, it's not anecdotal anymore. There is hard evidence. Jobs have been lost and jobs are not being created. So, now that there is reverse migration, the government should be held accountable as to what are they doing to see that these migrants are not sort of put under the bus again. I mean, they are talking about affordable housing for the migrants, but where are the houses? I mean, this is a work in progress. Affordable housing. It's not that the houses are all ready for the migrants who have come back to move into. So, there are a host of issues related to the pandemic, the lockdown, and the fallout. So that is one huge. That's really a macro picture, with several elements. Now, you're saying, can the opposition get its act together? I
Yeah.
doubt, because it's curtailed, first of all, because question hour has been done away with, 0 hour has been curtailed to half an hour. And, these are really the zesty parts in any parliament session, question hour and 0 hour. It's not just about giving written questions and getting written answers. It is about asking supplementaries, and often the uncomfortable truths used to emerge in the supplementaries. I mean, that's what one had to listen to very carefully. So you don't have half an hour, 0 hour is really by the time a member is up and he sort of makes his point, and then there is a counter reaction from the treasury benches. I think it's all going to get drowned. So I don't really see much of a scope for anything substantive to come out, although there is absolutely no dearth of issues. I think Nirmal Pathak listed everything. The tensions on the LAC, floods in Bihar. Since Bihar is going to elections, it's important to flag the Bihar-related issues, which are somehow getting drowned in this whole Sushant Singh Rajput, Riya Chakravarti kind of opera that is being played out. It is important to get down to the substantive issues in Bihar and try and put the Bihar government on the mat and the center in one way or the other, because the BJP is a long-term ally of the Janata Dal United. So, I mean, so you have a host of issues, Priya, which unfortunately is, the opposition is not going to be able to raise with the enthusiasm, with the aggression that one would normally expect. Also, because there are problems within the Congress, I don't know if the Congress is feeling up to it at the moment, given the backdrop of what happened recently. Adhir Chaudhary has been made the West Bengal PCC chief, so you don't know if he's going to be the leader in the Lok Sabha, or there is going to be another churn out there. And besides which, the Congress has some allies, but it's not very clear whether it's going to be a larger regrouping. Doesn't look like it. So I think, whether it's in the election of the deputy chairman of the Rajya Sabha, or perhaps even a deputy speaker in the Lok Sabha, it's the NDA is going to have its way.
Aditi, do you think, are you as pessimistic as Radhika about the opposition, or do you think that there is, we had Sonia Gandhi host that meeting recently, which saw a lot of leaders like Mamta and Sharad Pawar attend it. So do you think that the Congress can pull everybody along?
I look at it slightly differently. We are going to see an unprecedented, something that we will possibly never see again, and something we've never seen before. So there are two parts to it. One is the serious parliamentary business of doing business, passing laws, clearing ordinances, and so on and so forth. Let's leave that aside for a moment. The second part of parliament is, Priya, as you know, a lot of fun. And I think that part of it is going to be there, but it's also going to be missing. I'll tell you why. Parliament is not just about passing laws, it's about taking political positions and tripping up the government in various ways. We saw in one case, the voting taking place on a bill where the government was not able to assemble the quorum, and the opposition's amendments actually went through in that, and then the bill had to be re-amended again. So this happened some time ago, but still it was a way of the opposition reminding the government that you can't sit back and think that just because you have a majority you can get anything done. This session, the monsoon session, apart from the fact that it will have about 40 bills which are pending, which have to be passed, and 11 ordinances which are absolutely crucial, which need to be cleared like yesterday. Apart from all that, it will also see definitely reduced participation of senior MPs and definitely aggressive participation of younger MPs. So in a sense, it
Why do
will
you say
be
that?
definitely less participation of older MPs and definitely increased aggressive participation of younger MPs. So in a sense, you will see this as a session which will be dominated by young voices, because the older voices will simply not come. I mean, for health reasons. I don't see Motilal Vora or Vaila Ravi or even Dr. Manmohan Singh, uh, for what it is worth, taking a particularly aggressive position. They will be missed because Dr. Manmohan Singh would have been a strong voice on the economy, for instance. The ordinance for the IBC is going to come up. So that's one part of it. Second part of it is this question of questionnaire. Now, the issue is, okay, this is an emergency situation. And frankly, I have some sympathy with the government. I don't think they want to particularly wanted to scrap questionnaire, or there was a fascist kind of a thinking behind that. But there are practical difficulties. But the question is, this is not the last session of Parliament. There's going to be another one in winter. There's going to be another budget session. So is questionnaire going to be scrapped then also? If by December we don't get this disease under our grip, so it's a slippery slope. If you abandon these kind of instrumentalities, it makes it so much easier. It's like killing a person. If you kill once, the second time you kill makes it so much easier.
And there's a precedent in place.
So that's the other part of it.
Rashid, Congress is an area you know very well, and I saw somebody also raise the question that we've been wondering: will the Congress stay with Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary? What have you heard? Will they do away with him? Is this a good time for Rahul Gandhi to step up to that role, or will he appoint someone like you've heard all the names, so you tell us.
Priya, ideally, in a parliamentary democracy, if somebody, is a leader informally or formally, that person should be leading from the front. So this is a very principled kind of thing which Rahul should have adhered to in 2014 itself, that he should have, been a leader of the Congress party in parliament. He did not do it. It's never too late. He can do it now. But as me, Radhika ji, Nirbal, Aditi, we all know that it is very unlikely. So there is going to be, I think, Sonia Gandhi is largely, status quoist by nature. So I was told yesterday that probably for 3 weeks there will be nothing. As we know that in the Congress there is a practice of one man, one post. That means if Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary has become Bengal Congress president, he should have, left this job of, leader of the house in Lok Sabha. But that didn't happen. I saw all those press releases and statements and all. Between lines, there is no comment whether he's going to continue or not. It was an opportunity again to, consider, even let's say dangle a carrot to, a person like Shashi Tharoor or Manish Tiwari, who are able parliamentarians, and get them from the, as we call it, G23, and, give them some kind of importance and some kind of role. But there is no sign of it. I'll be very surprised if it happens on Monday. If you look at Rajya Sabha, the Congress story is very more peculiar, because you have leader of opposition, a formal position, a person who is a dissenter, Mr. Ghulam Nabi Azad. His number 2, Anand Sharma, is also a dissenter. So the two top 2 leaders are not there. And then you have a chief whip, Jairam Ramesh, who we all know, doesn't get along with these two. And so how many people would listen to him? And Rajya Sabha is a house where Congress and opposition, have more numbers, not enough numbers, but have more numbers to trouble or put government on a bit on the defensive. This is the thing. I have a slight disagreement with my fellow panelists in saying that the government wants. I think the government was extremely reluctant to call this session. They had to do it because, as per the Indian Constitution, a parliament has to meet once in 6 months, and that 6 months would have ended in October. You see, there have been 105 parliaments which have met during COVID-19. including Afghanistan. See, the only two countries who have not met so far is India and Russia. So, on the one hand, we say we are so much about parliamentary democracy. We have a leadership, and we have very functional democracy, and we have such track records. I think government's purpose objective is very clear. Push through all those ordinances, convert into bills. Get their work, and let opposition just shout or protest. So this is a very. I don't think we are going to see much meaningful discussion. See, look at the handling of COVID itself. On the 23rd of March, 22nd or 3rd of March, the Lok Sabha Speaker objected to some of the MPs which had come with masks. Now 6 months later they are making mandatory. So I mean this tells us, see, the government is clueless about how to deal with this COVID-19, and we're going to see in this session there's going to be a lot of tamasha on that count. You have public transport, you have metro running, and you cannot let your parliamentarians gather. What kind of democracy do we have? You're trying to open schools, you have mandis, shopping malls, everything is open now, and the lockdown 4, and the only place which is most restricted is Parliament of India.
That's a very good question, actually, Nirmal, that Rashid has said that, are we being extra careful and protective of our MPs, and when the rest of the world is do what you want to? And do you see, like someone said, older MPs may not come? Have you heard Will Manmohan Singh and Ghulam Nabi Azad and other older leaders? I know Dr. Swami is very keen on going to Parliament. He belongs to the older thing, but I don't know about the others.
हाँ, स्वामी का अभी जो नया टेंशन शुरू हुआ बीजेपी के साथ, तो वो जरूर जाएंगे.
प्राइवेट मेंबर्स बिल अलाउड नहीं है, बट ही वांट्स टू गो.
या और प्राइवेट मेंबर्स को एक्चुअली उतना मौका भी नहीं मिलता है हाउस में बोलने का, पर फिर भी डॉक्टर स्वामी से कुछ भी आप एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हैं सर. पर ये मैं इसमें थोड़ा सा इतना एंथुसियास्टिक नहीं हूँ इसको लेके कि एमपीज को के लिए ये पार्लियामेंट क्यों नहीं फंक्शन कर रही है हमारी, क्योंकि WHO के जो प्रोटोकॉल्स हैं और कोविड-19 को उसको लाइटली बिल्कुल नहीं लिया जा सकता किसी भी, और खास करके एमपीज जो हमारे हैं उनके हेल्थ को लेके आप किसी तरह का रिस्क नहीं ले सकते. और ये सिर्फ पार्लियामेंट को खोलने वाली बात नहीं है, वहाँ पे उनके बैठने के इंतजाम वगैरह वो भी देखने हैं उसको. हाउस लोकसभा अगर 540 मेंबर्स के लिए है, और 540 मेंबर्स क्योंकि जिस तरह से बैठेंगे, अगर आप 2 फीट का या 3 फीट का अगर गैप रखते हैं तो सारे लोगों को आप एकोमोडेट नहीं कर सकते. तो ये इतना आसान नहीं है. ये कहना जरूर बहुत आसान है कि क्यों नहीं फंक्शन कर सकती. मेट्रो वगैरह भी चल रही है, तो उसमें भी वो कोविड प्रोटोकॉल उसको अडॉप्ट कर रहे हैं ना, वहाँ पे रिस्ट्रिक्शंस वहाँ पे भी हैं. तो इसलिए यहाँ पे भी होने चाहिए जिस तरह की, इसको कितना आसानी से कितने सुविधाजनक तरीके से इसको किया जा सकता है सबके, ताकि उसमें और जो अपोजिशन के कंसर्न्स हैं वो भी एड्रेस हो सकें, वो जरूर ध्यान रखना चाहिए. पर ये कहना कि फुल फ्लेज जैसे पहले सेशंस होते हैं वैसा क्यों नहीं हो रहा है, वो मेरे ख्याल से ठीक नहीं होगा ऐसा. पर दूसरा एक बात और जो अपोजिशन को लेके हो रही थी कि कांग्रेस का, उसमें एक और अभी हाल में खबरें आई हैं, अभी उसका किसी ने कंफर्म या डिनाई भी नहीं किया है कांग्रेस की तरफ से, कि सोनिया गांधी शायद इस सेशन में शुरुआत के 8-10 दिन वो नहीं रहेंगी. तो उस स्थिति में क्योंकि कांग्रेस में कमांड कंट्रोल की अभी कहीं कोई क्लैरिटी नहीं है. जब सोनिया गांधी हाउस में, जब भी ये पिछले कई बार से हम लोगों ने देखा है कि वहाँ कांग्रेस के मेंबर्स बहुत सीरियस नहीं होते हैं पार्टिसिपेशन के लिए. जब भी इस तरह की स्थिति बनती है तो सोनिया गांधी को मैसेज जाता है, सोनिया गांधी आके फिर हाउस में बैठती है, तो उसके बाद एक ऑर्डर जैसा दिखने लगता है. तो अब जब वो एब्सेंट हैं और राहुल गांधी के पास किसी तरह की कोई जिम्मेदारी है नहीं, वो जिम्मेदारी लेना नहीं चाहते या चाहते हैं, किसी को कुछ नहीं पता है. तो उसमें और जो पहले से ये जो 23 लोगों ने लेटर लिखा है, उसकी वजह से राज्यसभा में खास करके, जहां जो रशीद ने भी कहा, वहां जो लीडर ऑफ अपोजिशन है और उनके डिप्टी हैं, वो दोनों ही उस पर सिग्नेटरी हैं उस लेटर की. और उसमें दूसरा एक वो जो करेला और नीम चढ़ा कहते हैं कि अगले 6 महीने के भीतर गुलाम नबी आजाद का टर्म खत्म हो रहा है. तो कितनी उनकी रेट वहां चलेगी हाउस में, कितना, तो ये बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम्स अपोजिशन के साथ हैं। और फिर ये कोविड के उसमें मेरे ख्याल से गवर्नमेंट का से इसमें ज्यादा होगा। गवर्नमेंट जो चाहेगी वो करवाने बहुत आसानी से इसमें करवा सकेगी। एक तो सारे मेंबर्स वहाँ चैम्बर, जो मेन चैम्बर हैं दोनों हाउस के, उसमें नहीं बैठ रहे हैं। कुछ लोग उसमें चैम्बर में होंगे और बाकी लोग जो अलग अलग गैलरीज हैं उसमें बैठेंगे। तो वहां से उनके प्रोटेस्ट करना भी उनके लिए पता नहीं किस तरह का फॉर्मूला वो अब इसमें नया इन्वेंट करेंगे अपने प्रोटेस्ट करने के लिए, क्या तरीका इजाद करते हैं वो भी देखना होगा कि वेल में कैसे आएंगे। गैलरी में बैठे हुए हैं, वो वेल में कैसे आएंगे। तो एक तो गवर्नमेंट की वो समस्या वैसे ही खत्म हो गई कि मेंबर्स आके वेल पे प्रोटेस्ट करें, वो होने वाला नहीं है। तो ये बहुत सारी चीजें इसमें नई भी होंगी। तो उस हिसाब से काफी, पर कुल मिला के ये सरकार के लिए, सरकार के वो जो करीब 1 दर्जन के आसपास 11 उनके ऑर्डिनेंसेस हैं, मुझे लगता नहीं कि उसमें कोई बहुत ज्यादा उनको दिक्कत आएगी उसे पास करवाने में।
और ordinances वाली ज्यादा controversial भी नहीं है. They are all, Essential Services Act, and they all think that I don't think anybody will protest against.
ज्यादातर इसमें गवर्नमेंट अपना बिजनेस क्लियर करवाएगी और 2-4 इशू अपोजिशन के डिबेट के लिए वो होंगे, वो फॉर्मेलिटी के तौर पे। इसलिए बहुत एक्साइटिंग ये सेशन होने जा रहा है, ऐसा लगता नहीं।
You see, this government is really going to have its way. Everybody seems to be kind of agreeing on.
You're asking who?
You, Radhika.
Yeah, definitely, Priya. I think I agree with Nirmal Pathak. He raised this point about Sonia not being there for nearly half the session. I mean, reportedly, that's what the report seemed to suggest. So will Rahul step up on the plate and assume the frontline role of keeping the Congress flock together and seeing that this speak in one voice, they're aggressive when the occasion demands, or take a back seat when the occasion demands. I mean, I have never seen Rahul as play the role of a floor manager. So who is going to fill in for Sonia? I mean, not that Sonia is a very terribly competent floor manager herself, but at least, she would kind of fill in when the occasion demanded. So this is really a test for Rahul, a kind of a challenge for Rahul in the Lok Sabha. Similarly, as he rightly said in the Rajya Sabha, whether Ghulam Nabi Azad's writ is going to run or not, I mean, that has to be seen. And so who then will kind of, step in to kind of shepherd the flock together in the Rajya Sabha, because the Congress has its best parliamentarians in the Rajya Sabha more than the Lok Sabha. So similarly now in the case of Trinamool, I think Mamta has already told all her MPs who are 60, 65 plus not to attend. So you're going to miss somebody like Saugata Roy, who's the kind of guy who always makes very valid, legitimate points on any issue.
Yeah. Saugata Roy has said he will be attending.
Okay.
He said, I can't miss
Parliament. It's welcome. Okay. Yeah, we need somebody like Saugata Roy. Or, or even Bharatuhari Mahtab in BJD. Of course, he is hemmed in by the fact that Naveen is, he's part of NDA without being a part of NDA, if you know what I mean. But even then, he raises very important issues on the constitution, on procedural matters, etc. So so people like those, the seniors, it's very important to have them around. But on the whole, I think this is going to be a very anodyne kind of session, something which the government is going for the sake of it, knowing fully well that it's going to be at an advantage at every point. It's not going to be in any kind of trouble anywhere. There's virtually no scope for the opposition to protest, no question of jumping into the rear of the house, no sort of summoning the marshals, nothing of that sort. So it's something which the government and the opposition is going through for the sake of it.
Going through the motions, but maybe Aditi, are you hoping to see good old debate come back? If they cannot jump into the well of the house or question, can they now start debating? Do you think that might happen?
I'm hoping that look, debates in our country are actually those who bother to read them and listen to them in their entirety are actually very revealing, particularly in the Rajya Sabha, where the voice of the states is heard. So they are very thoughtful, and many of them are very thought-provoking also. They question many established ideas that you and I might have. But that apart, I think we want to hear voices on the IBC. We want to hear, as you know, farmers are on the streets, not just in Punjab, which is opposition ruled, but also in Haryana, which is BJP ruled, and they want to protest against the scrapping of the APMCs. We know that there are many vested interests in agricultural produce marketing, particularly the Adatyas or the traders, who are an institution in a different way, and they are sought to be now completely marginalized. So it will be interesting to hear what people have to say on all the ordinances. Similarly, on several bills, including the question is the personal data protection law bill rather, which is supposed to be turned into a law, is before a JPC. The JPC has already had one extension in the March session when it was supposed to give its report. It was allowed to ask for an extension and was to give its report by the second week of the monsoon session. At that time, nobody knew when the monsoon session was going to be. But in between, the pandemic happened, no meetings of the JPC took place, no depositions were made. And so most probably the JPC is going to ask for a second extension of the personal data protection law. Now, this is a very important law. And we have seen what constitutes personal data, what is sovereignty, what is localization, how it's going to affect the lives of you and me. It has actually direct consequences. Besides that, also banks, private banks like Paytm Bank and WhatsApp payment and systems of payment digitally are also going to be a part of the questions that the JPC is going to answer. So there are all these laws which are awaiting clearance, and I'm hoping that
some debate will happen on that.
On some of them.
Rashid, you also dabble in Bollywood affairs. So can you tell us, will Kangana Ranaut and Sushant Singh Rajput make it to Parliament, or will we be thankfully spared that at least in the Parliament?
I won't be surprised because see, all eyes or so to say focus of politics is going to be on Bihar elections, and obviously somebody is going to raise this issue because of one particular TV channel and going ballistic and trying to act as a court of law, investigating, pronouncing judgment every day. So there is a reason this is a serious matter. This needs to be raised because our TV channels cannot be acting as a parallel courts or so. So, and in that context, a lot of it is going to come. It depends, who will raise it. And see, one thing about that, it is not about, not taking care of, parliamentarians' health and all, but we pride ourselves. We say that, it's a Westminster model of parliamentary democracy. Now, what is happening in Britain? The British Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, what he is, he went to ICU, as a COVID patient, and came out, and he took all the questions. There was no this thing about change in sitting arrangement or so, or to say that he's not replying. He answered all questions, and British Parliament functioned, and they did that. So I'm saying that either we don't make such pretensions of being a very participating democracy and being answerable to this. I think this is a fig leaf that is health and this COVID this thing to avoid a kind of functioning of Parliament what it should have been.
Very interesting question, and it's going to be an interesting question not just for not just what's going to be discussed, but also how it's going to be discussed, because it is the first really. And as Rashid pointed out before, when we went in for lockdown, Parliament was in session. That time they did not take it so seriously. So we hope they will take it definitely more seriously than pre-lockdown days. And let's see if all that is to be discussed actually comes on the table, or does the government actually walk away while the opposition fights among itself and doesn't have a strategy in hand. Because as we were discussing, the Congress has its own internal matters also which it hasn't resolved, and it is the principal opposition party. But that's it for now. Thank you for watching this show, and we'll see you again sooner rather than later. Thank you.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.